the buy low on picks and the sell high on vets, like those times of the year, it's incredible. You could, buy a second in the middle of the year for nothing and then sell it for 2 seconds. And, it's like a pyramid scheme on these second round picks.
Welcome back to Rough Draft Research. Thank you to everyone who joined us last week for our 3-round rookie mock. It was great preparation for our main league's rookie draft. Shout out to For the Belt Squad. Thank you for letting me get all the guys I wanted. We are going to review that with you here with like a little extra for you. So we've assigned tiers to this year's rookie draft picks, and then we're going to kind of discuss what we believe is like a comparable trade value, all while revealing the results of our rookie draft. So if you still have drafts to look forward to, this may give you an idea of what you need to offer up to get these rookies we've been talking about, or vice versa, what to expect if you're in like a win now team. So without further ado, what's up, guys?
Oh, not much. Still got that hangover from the draft.
Hangover.
Yeah.
That was a good day.
So much leading up to it, and now it's like,
yeah.
Is it the 2022 rookie draft yet, or what?
Seriously, like.
Yeah, let's just get the season over with. Can we skip that part?
Just give me the trophy. Let's get out of here.
Yeah,
Books made.
No. How'd you guys feel about this year's draft? You guys get everybody you were looking for?
Well, no, but I wanted all of them.
All right.
So,
For sure.
but I got a lot of guys that I did like.
No, definitely.
I really liked how you guys got a lot of value players in the later end.
Yeah, that's what you do when you do your research, man.
It was funny because I got a little nuts and ended up with 3 picks in the top 13.
Yeah.
And that was about the end of my day. But I loved seeing you guys get those guys we've been talking about in the late second and
third. I will say I definitely tried to move up and grab a couple guys earlier than that. It just didn't work out for me, but that's how it goes. So
Definitely. I thought it was really cool. We had quite a few brews. We got some pretty insane trades.
Yeah, those were fun.
We'll kind of go over that too.
That was really fun to watch happen live.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I kind of tried to lay it all out. I don't know if we want to. There are a few like pre-draft trades. Maybe we want to touch on those.
Yeah. Take it away, man.
All right. This is just whatever you're looking at. If you're not to your draft yet, there's still some action that could be had. But we had 4 pre-draft trades. One of them was Ezekiel Elliott, and he went for the 1-4, the 2-11, and a 2022 second.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. And so the guy who got Zeke, he thought that he didn't need Josh Jacobs anymore. So he paired him with Cortland Sutton and ended up getting Kenny Golladay, Adam Troutman, a 2022 first, and a 2022 third.
Mm-hmm.
So
God damn, I forgot Davey got another fucking first.
Hey,
Yep.
man, I got what I needed.
No, I get it. I like that trade.
It's going to be the last pick of the draft. I'm telling you, the last pick of the first.
It's just always, every fucking year, he just ends up with another first.
He's got an ammo.
No, for sure, yeah.
yeah.
What was the other?
But I like that trade for you, actually.
I love
I think
that
people are way too low on Josh Jacobs for some reason.
Yeah. If you couple them together, it's kind of like he got Zeke so he could give up Jacobs and chase some guys and got another fucking first, like you're saying.
But that's kind of what I'm saying, though, is I think I'd rather have Jacobs than Zeke. Yeah. I know maybe I'm just putting too much stock into Zeke's horrible year last year.
I think
but he's getting older.
He's 25, man.
Is he only 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not keep Jacobs and that fourth, and now you're walking away with Travis. Oh well, I don't want to spoil the draft, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got the fourth round. Anyway,
Keep in mind, this guy had the 1-3 as well, so
right, exactly.
he's doing just fine.
Oh yeah, no, he's fine. I don't hate the trade. I don't know. Zeke seems broken to me. He seems a lot slower, but we can talk about
I've
that
never
in
been
another
a Zeke
episode.
fan, but he won me a league one year, so I'll give him that. Thanks for pretending you were going to hold out so I could get you at the 112 in that league.
Right.
That was awesome. But then we have a rebuilding team that gave up a first, a second, and Tyler Lockett to gain Keenan Allen, Darnell Mooney, and the 209. So that's kind of a weird one. I love the trade if it were two middle of the pack teams, but that first might be pretty valuable.
I will say he had 3 firsts last year.
Okay.
Or next year. So
So
it was
then-
kind of like, I'm going to give up a first that I
got
have
some
3
depth.
of next year to
Yeah.
get some depth and a second this year.
And
I think this was his first rookie draft too.
That's
so I think
true.
he not that that's how you should trade, but I think that kind of went into it as like, I want an earlier pick.
Yeah,
like,
he took over a
Well,
dog shit.
I definitely don't think he would have done it had he only had like 1 first next year. Though.
That's
Yeah.
true. And he gave the guy his own first back.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
So it's kind of
and he got
cute.
Rondell Moore with the 209, so that's a huge value.
Yeah, I would swap
So
Spoilers.
Rondell and then Darnell Mooney,
Mooney
and Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. I love that.
I like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I like that. I mean, it
Fuck
worked
yeah.
out. That was the danger of doing a trade before the draft, but it did work out for him that
Yeah.
he got Rondale. So
And then what was the fourth?
The fourth one was some crazy guy packaged Jared Cook, Jameis Winston, and N'Keal Harry for a 2022 second. So
More than likely an early 2022
Yeah.
second,
I
mind
like
you.
that trade for you.
Yeah, you needed the roster spots.
yeah, basically, spoiler, it was me. I gave away 3 players for a 2022 second to the guy who was drafting second this year and needs a little bit of help.
Yeah.
He actually, I think that he got a great deal as far as depth. Those are all startable
needed,
players
yep.
potentially. Maybe all of them could be, pretty solid. But I needed to drop a few roster spots for my 5 rookie picks, and
Yeah.
it was nice to get a return instead of making some hard decisions.
I like that.
That's fair.
Kind of force yourself into it. I mean,
Yeah.
as we'll find out about the trade I made in the draft, which was kind of the same thing. Offload some stuff that I'm eventually going to have to make a tough decision with, and then just
That's the way
gain
to
an
do
asset.
it, man.
So
If you can turn it into a pick instead of just cutting somebody, that's why they do that shit in the NFL all the time.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Like, trade this guy for a 6. Well, getting a 6 is still better than just cutting him.
yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I didn't have a 2022 second, and now I do. And it's probably
I
better
don't
than
either
the native
from a
one.
trade
Yeah.
I made 2 years ago.
And now I don't. Oh man, it's funny when it finally comes upon you. Like I haven't thought about this in 2 years.
Literally, like, why do I not have a second? Like,
Uh-huh.
what are you gonna do?
Well, speaking of the trade, I guess I'm just going to touch on a few things about like just some trade talk, some general rules.
Oh, nice.
When you're trading, definitely do your research. Don't just fall for a name. I feel like that's a pretty common mistake. That's a mistake I made in my first startup draft, where this is 2017, and I'm drafting David Johnson in the first round. It's a name that I knew. I knew that he had a lot of value, but I didn't know he was kind of like on the decline. So make sure you do your research. Where these guys, how many contract years they have left. Who do they draft? Just pay attention to these kind of things. Also, just because you think it's a good trade doesn't mean it works for everybody.
For sure.
Make sure you're looking at these guys as team. Just because you value, some certain receiver, maybe they don't need a receiver, so don't give them shit for being like, come on, man, you don't like this guy? Like, take him. Like, no, he doesn't need that guy.
Yeah.
So if you want someone, make an effort on the trade. Don't just try to don't approach somebody and then be mad when they don't respond in a positive manner.
Yeah, for sure.
Every trade should be mutually beneficial.
Right.
So don't just target someone you want and just give someone something that doesn't make sense to them.
Yeah. And they know when you're trying to, I know when you're trying to offload a guy to me. I'm not stupid.
For sure.
I've talked to everyone.
Johnson.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't be a douche.
It's optional. Douche optional.
I do also want to say for kind of first timers, and I'm just explaining things that I've kind of picked up on, and feel free to jump in, guys. But like when it comes to like picks and veterans, like when you're going throughout the middle of the year, people don't seem to care so much about their second and third round picks because everyone kind of thinks their team, it's their year. They kind of expect to be winning or want to. So if you kind of have like an almost even trade, just have them throw in that second or that third, because then you can return that value in the draft when all the hype is upon you. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden that 2-5 can turn into, a pretty valuable asset on your team, whether that be you drafting or somebody overpaying for that pick. It could be a pretty big payday for you if you just trade them in the right. And also if you have a veteran and it's towards the end of the year and your team kind of sucks, start offloading that guy. If you need to get rid of Alvin Kamara to get 2 first-round draft picks, sometimes that's what you should do.
Hey, if he would have thrown in a player, that could have worked out.
Yeah, but sorry, that was just giving shit. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to touch on some of those things. Do you guys have any input?
I'll add one. Just because a trade's fair doesn't mean somebody has to do it or that you have to do it.
For sure.
I run into this problem all the time. People send me a trade and they'll show me like how it's fair, and it's like, okay, it is fair. I agree with you. I don't want to do it. Like, you don't have to do it. You can like a player better, and even though it's fair, like whatever. I just want to keep my player.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. If it's that fair, then it's even less incentive to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you, though. And, it was funny. I did some drunk draft day trades with Danny.
Yeah.
And we had a blast. But afterward, he was just like over the moon that no one pulled out a calculator. And I was like, yes, of course. Like, you should have, like, you shouldn't need to crunch the numbers every time you need to make a trade, If you know what your team needs and you're, caring enough or fucking compassionate enough or into it enough to know what another team needs, you can make a good trade and it could be mutually beneficial. But if you come like an accountant with it, you're going to scare someone off pretty quick.
Sure.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying, like the buy low on picks and the sell high on vets, like those times of the year, it's incredible. You could, buy a second in the middle of the year for nothing and then sell it for 2 seconds. And, it's like a pyramid scheme on these second round picks.
That's the other thing, too, is if there's a guy that you want or a pick that you want, you're probably going to have to overpay for this guy.
For sure.
So
I do that a lot. I get made fun of a lot for that, but
no.
It's the only way to live.
Yeah. So fuck all your trade calculators.
Yeah, you pretty much have to overpay at this point to get anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
But I always overpay with picks, and I think we'll get into it later, but I think picks are sometimes a little overvalued. So to me, it's like, whatever.
Let's just get into that now, man. So we'll start with the tier 1. I think we've assigned tier 1, picked 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm. And that's more generic to any draft, top 4 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just jump into it. I'll just turn it on over to you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I after we talked on Tuesday, I kind of changed it a little bit. And I think picks 1 through 3 would be my top tier.
Okay.
And then 4 through 7 would kind of be the second tier.
Like
and
that.
for me, 1 through 3, you're getting, obviously if you have 1, you're getting whoever you want. But those 1 through 3, typically it's going to be running backs that go first. So you can, even if you have 3, you could end up with the number 1 receiver. Or in a super flex, you can get almost whatever quarterback you want. So I think those 3 picks are a really good hot spot. And yeah, I'm not trading out of those unless I'm getting like an established good starter that I can throw into my roster right away. You know what I mean?
Right.
For sure. Yeah, so just to get into our rookie draft, Najee went 101.
Yep.
Followed by Kyle Pitts at the 102, and then Travis Etienne at the 103. And so if you're trying to get one of those guys from somebody, you're going to have to come hard, just like you're saying.
Yeah, and so like the picks that I would look at, or the players that I would look at, and again, this is also kind of if depends on if you're in a rebuild or if you like
Absolutely.
your roster. But I'm looking at like CD Lamb, Chris Godwin, CEH, Kelsey or Kittle, maybe Cam Akers. Like those are the kind of guys that I'll pay attention to if you offer me that for one of those first 3 picks. And so the Kyle Pitts thing, I love Kyle Pitts, and I think it's a ballsy move, and it could work out super well. But in my head, this draft normally would go like Najee, Etienne, or Chase. Those are the top 3. So that's why I'm thinking these kind of guys are who you're going after, because like you're getting the top 2 running backs that these guys are supposed to be amazing, and then the number 1 wide receiver. So I'm not moving out of that spot unless I'm getting someone comparable already.
Right.
Like, and obviously you take a little less with a vet that's established. Like CEH isn't the number 1 back, but he's established. He's in a good offense. You know he can do well, and you think he's going to bounce back.
Oh, for sure.
So to me, that's okay. Cool. I'll move it for the 1-3. You know.
Yeah. On mine, I didn't do any second-year players unless they had like a substantial change in
That's
value. Just because I feel like if you took CH 101,
Yeah, it's hard to move off. That's fair. I guess I should have thought about that.
oh, I mean, people do that, man. You
Yeah.
know, the new hotness. You gotta. I would sell CH for Najee Harris,
Yeah.
probably for sure. But I went more like, your team needs the youth. You might have a few high-profile players that you're willing to part with. And so I threw out like Allen Robinson,
That's a good one.
DJ Moore. If you can sell Kareem Hunt for that top pick, and then I put Austin Eckler in there just because I don't really think Austin Eckler's worth that, but I think that a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that one's interesting. But yeah, I would sell Austin Eckler in a heartbeat for one of those picks.
give them to me.
And I like Allen Robinson a lot. And this kind of goes back to what I'm saying. If I'm sitting there at the 1-3 or even the 1-4 and you offer me Kareem Hunt, I'm probably saying no.
Right.
Like, so it's just a difference of opinion. Not that I think it's a bad trade, but I'm just like, I'll take my chances on the guy that gets here, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I think that if you're talking a league that people aren't like super sharp and they see what Kareem did last year.
Yeah.
And I think there's a
was
chance
super
he
impressive.
sustains that
Yeah.
a little bit. But honestly, yeah, I would not, I wouldn't expect to be able to offload him for a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
Not even probably a top 6 pick,
I actually had him in that second tier range, like the 1-5 to the 1-8. So that's kind of where I was looking at.
You guys want to
like
move
a
on
Hunt.
to the 1-5 to 1-8?
Oh, well, we should probably talk about these first 3 picks at least first,
Yeah.
right?
Okay,
And then,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah,
the
we're
one,
filling our way through it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So the 1-1 was definitely our rebuild team. This is the guy that ended up with 5 first-round picks in the
Poor guy.
and I think it's a great pick. He's probably maybe not the most talented of the 3 running backs there, but he's definitely the number 1 day starter that's probably going to make the most impact this year. Unless, like, am I wrong? Do you guys feel me on that at least?
I think he's the only one of the top 3 backs that ended up in a landing spot where he doesn't have competition whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, in my eyes, a non-super flex that doesn't have Najee as a 101 is like something's
suspect.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Like either, a contender got the 101 somehow and is already stacked at the position.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Even then, I feel like I'd still take Najee and then just try and trade somebody else.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I mean, what is Jonathan Taylor worth? The 101 plus, right?
yeah, for sure.
So if you can end up returning value like that on Najee, yeah, you go for him every time.
I kind of mentioned the Kyle Pitts thing earlier. My only thing here is the roster that he's going to, I feel like put a lot of faith in some running backs that I don't really trust.
Yeah.
I mean, his top guy is Austin Eckler and then Kenyon Drake, right?
He's got Miles Sanders.
Oh,
as
and
well.
Miles Sanders. Yeah, all 3 of those guys, I'm kind of like,
And Devin Singletary.
Would love to have Travis Etienne.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you throw another running back into there? That being said, Kyle Pitts is the generational tight end talent that should change a fucking roster. So
this was a bet.
It's a bold move. Yeah. I don't hate the move. I'm just saying if I had the same roster and the same pick, I would not have made this pick. And maybe Ian's going to make me look like an idiot, you know?
I wouldn't bet on that.
Then we got Travis Etienne to just an already loaded roster.
Yeah, super loaded roster. I mean, but there was nothing else for him to do here, though. He just traded Josh Jacobs.
Must be fucking nice.
He's got Barkley and Elliott, and now he's adding Etienne.
He's also got J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he has Melvin Gordon, so this is a replacement value for that. Yeah. So he'll have, 5 top 12 RBs for the rest of them.
You can only start 3 of them. So.
Well, hey, let's have Julio Jones go to Tennessee and ruin that A.J. Brown hype, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
There you go. That's
so, funny. Let's move. You guys ready to go through 4 through 7?
Yeah, we can.
That works.
Cool. Should I just reveal those guys now?
Yeah, we can do it all.
Talk about them.
Boom. As expected, Marr Chase at the 1-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have expected him to go at the 1-2 personally. But
me too.
But that's just if I had the 1-2, I would have grabbed him. But my roster is different.
I love all these picks. I mean, Trevor Lawrence probably goes a little early, but this pick he actually does need a quarterback pretty bad. So go get your guy. But these other picks, I love Javonte Williams at the 1-5, especially because it's the same guy that had Najee Harris at the 1-1. So he just completely rebuilt that running back room, which is super impressive to me.
Yeah. So, 1-4 was Marr Chase, then Javonte Williams at the 1-5, Devonta Smith at the 1-6, and then Trevor Lawrence at the 1-7.
Yeah, I guess I should have thought about the audio version of this podcast, not the video. I'm like, you can fucking see it on the board.
Right? Between the 3 of us, we'll get
me mistake
every time.
It's
Look
funny,
with your eyes.
You say maybe Trevor Lawrence went a little early. His ADP going in through this in single quarterback league is 108.
Really?
So
fair enough.
Like all this is pretty dead on, honestly. But
I'm not surprised.
Well,
yeah, I mean, because it's so funny because this class went from like such a broad, strong class to such a top heavy class and like post NFL draft, which is kind of insane.
That is fair.
I think that history will repeat itself.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And so just talking about trade values and stuff, I have this is the second tier of picks. Maybe not players. I would probably put, as far as players, I'd put Harris, Pitts, Etienne, Chase, and Williams all on the same tier.
Yeah.
But if you're talking normal picks, these are the kind of picks, the 1-4 through the 1-7. I'm looking for like Josh Jacobs, Antonio Gibson, Austin Eckler, I would put here, Cortland Sutton, Cooper Kupp. Guys like that.
Nice.
Established high upside players. Yeah.
And again, that's like, I don't have time. Like, I'm in a win now mode. I don't have time to wait on a rookie that I could get at this pick. I'll let somebody that has a shit roster but has Josh Jacobs send me Josh Jacobs for the 1-5 kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done. And so those are the type of people I'm looking for in this range for like a straight player pick swap.
I'm with you. Yeah, and we're just talking players for picks because, it's so open-ended if you start to incorporate.
Yeah, like all kinds of shit.
It's as, if you're hearing this and you've got this player and you're targeting this pick, then, maybe go for it. We'll give you the courage you need.
Yeah.
But I liked your list pretty well there. I think in this section I went for like a win now team buying it, especially if you're in this range, it means that you were a fringe playoff team last year, and you might just be looking for that player to push you over the edge. So I put Mike Davis, who should have a pretty good workload, Curtis Samuel, who should have an upgrade, Robbie Anderson, who just blew everyone away last year.
I love Robbie Anderson, man.
And then you got Melvin Gordon, who I assume is gonna go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to get another deal. And then I put Jalen Hurts in here just because the hype is through the roof. Like people, someone is going to like him a lot. You know, I know the guy who had him in our league was trying to sell him, but he's like trying to sell him for diamonds and gold only.
Yeah.
So, but I think he fits in here. He's serviceable for someone who would have wanted Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So
I see that.
That's fair. I think again though, I'd probably just take Justin Fields
absolutely
instead of Jalen Hurts.
But if you think about all these guys in this section from this draft, you're looking at like somewhat of a developmental.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
for the immediate impact, the year 2 with the Eagles, I don't know, something big's going to happen for Jalen, or it's going to fizzle out. But if you bet and it comes through, it's definitely worth the 1.6 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I wanted Devonta Smith, but instead now I have a quarterback I can start every week and not have to worry about the position. So
Fair enough.
I do like that because people that would be in this range, like it could be as simple as you just got the injury bug. So you dropped like from like a 110 to, like a 1.5 because you dropped 2 games because CMC was hurt or what have you. So I do like that because you trade in for like an Austin Eckler as opposed to Javonte Williams. Like Javonte Williams is a question mark this year, though he has tremendous future value. But if you're like, this is it, my players are old, I got Aaron Rodgers or whatever. But I like that.
I feel like we should mention, I don't think we talked about Devonta Smith at the 1.6 very much.
Right.
Known Eagles hater on this podcast. I still kind of like where that goes. Oh, okay. Well, so we all hate the Eagles on this podcast.
And we hate the Bears.
Fuck the Bears. But I like it. I'm a little worried. I don't know. But it is a toss-up. Jaylen Waddle, Devonta Smith. That dude definitely needed a receiver. So, like...
I was talking to this guy last night. Super happy to be talking to him. He's the best. And, I told him I was kind of surprised he didn't go Michael Carter,
That's fair. But at that point, I feel like I would have traded back to get Michael Carter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we were talking about in our mock last week.
Yeah.
Where I kind of posed the question, like, why isn't Michael Carter worth more than Waddle and Smith, when you think about the role that he just walked into and you think about the scarcity of the position.
Yeah.
As far as developmental talent goes. But I'm with you, though. I think it was the right move, but I would have picked Waddle anyway. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. None of that matters. Shit. So the 108 was Jaylen Waddle.
Yeah, we'll go to that. I know Mario was very happy. That was the fastest email I've gotten. So one of the guys that we do the Dynasty League with is still in the Navy, and he's not on deployment, but he's like on the ship right now. They're like testing everything. So I had to email him for the draft. That was the quickest fucking email I got from him the entire weekend is when I told him that Jaylen Waddle was available. He sent that shit back quick.
Nice.
And for the younger viewers, Daniel, what is an email?
It's what the Navy uses to communicate.
An electronic mail.
It's like a text that you put on a keyboard, and then you instead of pressing send, you have to click send.
Perfect.
Well, instead of using your thumbs, you have to use all of your fingers.
Well, this next tier, so tier 3, we already talked about Jaylen Waddle, and then it went 109 Rashod Bateman, 110 Justin Fields, 111 Terrace Marshall Jr., and 112 Michael Carter.
Ugh, that's feisty, dude.
That is feisty.
Very interesting area. I will say, with Mario, I think receiver was his definite position of need. I would not have been surprised, though, if he went Michael Carter here, because he's rolling out David Montgomery and CEH, but not much else.
Yeah.
So I could have seen a Michael Carter play there. But I like the Jaylen Waddle. Now I will kick it to you because you have 2 of these picks. So I will let you kind of take it from here for a while.
I had the 1-9 and I took Rashod Bateman. And this was a really difficult decision for me because I wanted Michael Carter and I also wanted Terrace Marshall Jr. because I'm obsessed with the man. I'm
he's
so
sick as
obsessed
fuck.
with him.
And to let everyone know, he did have the 201.
So I had the 201, the 204, and the 207. So I wanted Michael Carter. I just, in my heart, after watching all the Rashod Bateman nasty first step jump moves and shit, I had to. I just got him.
Yeah, I mean, Bateman, not to interrupt, but
Oh,
Bateman
good.
is the more talented player
100%.
of anybody that goes after him. And that wins sometimes. It's scary because of where he went, but if he had gone anywhere else, he probably would have gone before Smith, you know.
For sure.
And so I get where you're coming from because you watch him play, you watch his tape, and he's disgustingly good.
It's so amazing. So in my heart, I knew if I let Bateman go, I wasn't going to get him. But if I let any of those other guys go, there was a chance they could come back to me at the 201. I knew Bateman wasn't getting through because a guy was blocked out. He had the next 3 picks to end the round.
Yep.
So I took Rashod, and then he took Justin Fields, which I was kind of surprised that he didn't take
Trey Lance. Yeah.
But that's good on him. I like Justin Fields a lot. I
sick.
talk about my Buckeyes as much as I can. But then he went and traded out of the 111.
To Danny boy.
Yeah.
Danny boy.
Danny boy.
Shout out D-Hop.
Yeah, boy. So for the 111, he was able to get back a 2022 second, a 2022 first, and a 2022, or gosh damn. All right. 2022 second, a 2023 first and second. So 2 seconds and a first for the second to last pick in the first
great
round.
trade.
That's pretty impressive. And so
I think it's a great trade for both ways because we talk about kicking the can down the road, and like a 2023 first is worth like a second this year, you know? Like, so I like the trade both ways, actually.
absolutely. Yeah, especially for a team that had 5 picks in the first round to get 2 future seconds and a first for,
One of your 5 picks.
right, one of the last picks in the first round. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great value. I was trying to get in on this 111, and I guess I didn't offer enough. That's okay because it worked out for me in the long run.
Spoilers.
So Danny took Terrace Marshall Jr. and he was well aware that I wanted Marshall on my team. So we'll get back to that. I ended up with Marshall, but we'll talk about that trade as the picks come up.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's a big trade there, followed by Michael Carter going at the 112. And like I had said, taking Rashod at the 109, I essentially gave him the choice on running back and hoped that at the 201 I would be able to get the other of what I consider running backs 4 and 5 in this class.
That's fair. And I absolutely love having the 5 picks and taking 3 running backs for a team that is completely rebuilding.
For sure.
First of all, I talked about it last week. Some of these guys are going to miss. You just took 3 stabs at one position. Best case scenario, all 3 of them work out, and your running back room is solid. And now all you got to worry about is the rest of your team. Mm-hmm. Worst case scenario, they all 3 miss, but that's not going to happen.
No.
So I think you're looking at like an in between where like he has 2 starters and 1 possible flex play depending on matchups, like which is great. Like that, if you're going to rebuild a team, that's the way you have to do it.
Absolutely, especially with Javonte. He's going to age well.
Yeah. Oh, God, I love Javonte.
Yeah, we're
so
so
much.
jealous. Not that I wanted to sell my whole team for 5 first, but, you got to look at that. Oh, man, it's nice.
Yeah. No, it worked out for him for sure.
All right.
So just as far as what I would have to give up to get at the back end
Oh, yeah.
player-wise, you want to go ahead or you want me
No, you're good. You're good. I just forgot about that.
So, no, all good, man. So I threw out a lot of names here because I feel like this is kind of a dealer's choice, kind of like if you have to go out for a guy, you're willing to give up some of these guys. I put Hollywood Brown, Tyler Boyd, Chase Edmonds, Fournette, Julio. I think Zach Moss possibly is someone that someone might be aggressively chasing. And I put Matt Stafford in there because he's got a bit of hype going right now.
So it's really funny. My first line, I said, I personally think once you get to this point, I have it listed as B, C, and D tiers at the end of the first round and then going down. It really becomes about your gut. Like, who do you like? And that's what you need to do.
Absolutely.
Some names I have here, though, are like David Montgomery.
Yep.
Myles Gaskins, Tyler Lockett, Juju, and I actually have Kareem Hunt, but he's like a fringe A tier, B tier guy. So like that 7-8 pick is where I'm thinking about Hunt because he did so well last year.
Right.
But like similar names, I would say.
No, absolutely. It's kind of funny because I agree with all the names you said, but like we didn't overlap any names. So,
Yeah.
You know, I think Tyler Boyd and Tyler Lockett are like pretty interchangeable.
For sure.
You know, they're not the ones on their team anymore, but they're solid.
Yeah.
They're gonna have big weeks. Who did you said Myles Gaskins? I really like that. I liken him to almost a Fournette.
Yeah.
Like
they're at the end of the first round. Like take a stat. Like especially because Miami, we talked all offseason about them getting a running back and they didn't. So now like he's definitely worth
2 years in a row that everyone in America has done that. You know, it's nuts.
More power to Gaskins.
And they must know what they're doing, and we are just still figuring it out. So yeah, I mean, you never know what the Dolphins are going to do. Maybe they'll never draft a running back, but I mean that ties up the first round.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and the first round is definitely the most interesting because you can get higher value for guys if you wait till the draft too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because somebody wants that rookie.
oh so
and
much.
this guy that they may not be super high on anymore. Even like a James Robinson, that wasn't a name that came up. But am I terrified of trading the 112 for James Robinson? Not really. Like
No.
He could be a starter.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
So-
Anywhere.
Yeah, I do have Robinson on my list, but not in the first. I'm right
oh,
there,
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
We're about to.
I think
touch
that
on
would be
it.
one I'd have to think about. Like if I had the 111 and somebody offered me James Robinson, I would at least have to sit down and be like, ooh, maybe.
Yeah. So
Like-
is James Robinson? You know, is his value what Singletary was after last year? Do you know when Moss comes in, or is it lower?
I think it's higher because he did way better than Singletary ever
Proven.
did.
He's
Like
proven.
he proved that he can do it.
Yeah, but oh man, I think that's kind of not giving Singletary the credit because he was fighting. You know, he was the second guy in that offense until halfway through the year, and then he blew up, and then you know the playoff run ended, and then they took Zach Moss. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Singletary was pretty solid after Carlos Hyde wasn't no longer ahead of him. On
Yeah,
the
that's
chart.
that. I mean, yeah, that's fair, I guess.
I don't think he was an RB1 though.
No.
Yeah,
James Robinson's amazing.
I bit on Singletary super hard.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I did too from draft through, you know, I didn't want to trade him, but
yeah. But that is definitely the most interesting round.
Yep.
There's the
Especially
first round.
For you noobs, for people like me and Christian who are forever the bridesmaid, never the bride, never in the first round. The third round is where we live.
Actually, this is the first draft I haven't been in the first round.
Yeah.
So.
And,
this is the
but-
first draft where I haven't traded out of the first round.
Oh, nice.
wow.
Yeah, I actually
This
traded
is
into the
Mr.
first round
always
for once.
rebuilding. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, man.
Hey, well, guys, that's the most interesting round. Thanks for sticking around with us. Anything else, boys, on the first round?
No? I think so.
No?
Enjoy your three running backs and not Rashod Bateman.
All right. Hey, cheers, guys.
So, now I gotta take this. Fuck yeah. Oh, go for it, dude.
Oh, you're fine.
All right.
If it feels like your heart is done
Join us next week when we go over third-year players. We're going to be talking about how they did in their second year, what kind of boost they could see in that third year, and we'll also recap guys that picked up their fifth-year option. So let's get into it. See you then.